Hello everyone, I am Howard and this is Otter's Corner. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, and this is basically what got me to start doing YouTube videos. As I've mentioned several times, I was driven to this by my sadness in seeing what was out there on retirement, Social Security, Medicare, savings, withdrawing, as it relates to retirement, and how much misinformation and straight out lies I was seeing. And a lot of it was just clickbait, people trying to get views so they can make money on YouTube. I understand the desire to make money on YouTube. I'm not here for that. Some people are, I get it, but the lack of honesty just hurt because as I was seeing in the comments, people were believing and following these charlatans. So I'm going to talk about one in particular today, the one that probably was the greatest influence in driving me here. And that's someone called Sarasota Tim. Now, you people who watch me probably never heard of Sarasota Tim. I would encourage you to go over to his site, search back in some of his videos about Social Security and Medicare, and see what I'm talking about. But it's a very interesting case. It was probably about a year ago that somehow he popped up on my feed in YouTube, and it was talking about Social Security. So I clicked on it and I watched it. And at the time, he had maybe 8,000 or 10,000 subscribers. He had been at it for a few years. His premises, he lived in Sarasota. He's actually in Boynton Beach now. He moved. His take on life and Social Security was grab it as soon as you can, quit your job, and work part-time to try to make up the difference. So he was espousing to everybody, take your Social Security as soon as you can. So the interesting thing was, at the time it popped up on my feed, apparently it was popping up on a lot of other feeds because within 6, 8, 10 months, suddenly he had 50,000 subscribers. Now he sits at 61,000 subscribers, and his tune has kind of changed a little bit now that he has a bigger audience. He puts out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos a day. They'll be titled Me Walking to My Car, Me Driving My Car to the Store, me going into the store and shopping, me leaving the store. I mean, just these are the things I did today. Watch me. As if people care about his life, and based upon the comments and the fact that he has 61,000 subscribers still, people care about his life, and that's okay. If that's the kind of videos he wants to make and people watch him and he makes money off of that, hey, more power to him. The problem I have is his whole thesis of work sucks, everybody hates work, you need to get out of work as soon as possible and do whatever you can to survive after that. So the way he describes it, he was an entrepreneur, but he also said he sold cars for a while. It would appear as though he saved nothing for retirement, or very little if anything, because he never mentions any savings or having that support. He retired at 62, took Social Security, which was about $1,500 a month, according to him. And to make up the difference for him to survive, he took a part-time job working about 20 hours a week doing food samplings at places like Publix and other grocery stores. And his catchphrase was, crushing it. I am crushing it in retirement. And his followers picked this up. Yeah, Tim, you're crushing it. Look how successful you are. You quit work and you're surviving and you're happy. Well, here's his lifestyle. He lived in a 16-foot van. He did his laundry at a strip mall. He had very few possessions of his own other than a car. He called himself a minimalist. Well, Tim, a minimalist is somebody who can afford to buy those things and have things, but decides not to. I have very few pictures on my wall because I'm somewhat of a minimalist. If I wanted to go out and buy 20 pictures, I could buy 20 pictures and stick them up on my wall. I just choose not to do that. What he's describing is being poor. Because as we see, he started to bring in some money from YouTube. He also picked up a girlfriend who apparently has quite a bit of money, and now he's buying a lot of things. He still calls himself a minimalist, but he's still got a lot of, assets coming in. He bought a nicer car. He's buying all sorts of accessories. It looks like might be buying a bigger camper. But my idea of crushing it is not in retirement, is not working part-time, living in a 16-foot trailer, and doing my laundry in a strip mall. So you want to call it crushing it, fans want to call it crushing it, that's fine. But it gives you an idea of where this guy's coming from. So his argument is always, take your money at 62, take it as soon as you can. We don't know how long we're going to live. Life expectancy is 74. We're not going to live long enough to make more money at any other retirement age. The few things wrong with this is, number one, retirement and starting Social Security can be different. I retired at 65. I won't be taking Social Security till 70. You could retire at 58, 60, 70, or 62, 70, 65, and not take Social Security till later. They don't have to be the same. The key being, you live below your means, you save some money, and you have money to bridge that time before Social Security. But he's kind of talking to people he feels like are him, those who can't afford life and do whatever they have to do to scrape by. So his idea is telling people, no matter what your circumstances are now, money saved, money not saved, good job, bad job, it's terrible, quit. Quit and get a part-time job. And again, to me, if you got a part-time job, you're not retired. You're working fewer hours for less money and just trying to make it up with a meager amount of Social Security. And his rationalization are his break-even analyses, where every time he's done one, he's got the math wrong. Every single time. He just had another one out a couple weeks ago, and that's what prompted me to do this video now. Trying to make sense out of the idea that you won't live to break-even age. And his whole thesis is, we're all going to die before we can make enough money anyway, because life expectancy is 74. And even though people have told this to him in his comments over and over and over again, that's not how life expectancy works. The other thing with comments to him is, if you disagree with him, if you counter him, if you correct his math, he will block you. I almost immediately got blocked when I made some comments. They weren't mean, just straightening them out and what the numbers were. There's actually other websites where people have talked about Sarasota Tim, and one in particular, a guy's just got a couple thousand subscribers, yet he did a video on Sarasota Tim. And there's thousands of comments, way beyond his number of subscribers or what he would normally get in views, because all the people who get blocked by Sarasota Tim go to that site to make their comments sort of commiserate with each other. It's actually pretty funny. But it just shows you, he blocks everyone if you disagree. Again, it's up to him. He could do that, but people like me have to expose him. This isn't going to hurt him. His viewers aren't going to see this. Hopefully they will. Maybe they might. Maybe they trip upon it. Maybe they see Sarasota Tim in the thumbnail and get interested. But again, he starts with this, I'm not going to live past 74 on average because that's life expectancy. Well, no, that's life expectancy at birth. When you hit 65, your life expectancy is 82 as a male. Life expectancy changes. The older you get, the older you will live on average. Not saying everyone's going to live to 82 if they hit 65, but on average you will. So he did this one little math problem in his last video where he says, I'm getting $1,750 a month right now at age 65. So for the 8 years between 62 and 80, I made $378,000. Well, he used his age 65 benefit to do those 8 years, and he actually used the $1,500 that he got at, age 62, he would have come out $54,000 short. And then he doesn't understand how to do break-even analysis. He does sort of this trial and error method to get somewhere close. With his numbers, it's actually a little over age 78. And I did this myself a couple months ago. For me, my full retirement age 66 and a half, which I've already passed. But the break even between 62 and 66 and a half was age 76 and 8 months. My life expectancy at that point would have been 81. So I would have lived well past the time I would have broken even. Between 62 and 70, my break-even point is 8 years and 7 months, or 5 years lower than my life expectancy. And between my full retirement age, 66 and a half, and 70, my break-even age was 80 and 5 months, which is well below my life expectancy of 83 years and 6 months. So regardless of what this nut Sarasota Tim tells you, if you can, wait as long as possible to start your Social Security benefits. If you can, work until a comfortable age. You don't have to quit just because people are telling you to quit. If you want to quit and you're looking for the quickest, best way out, and that's the way you decide it, go ahead. But understand, when you're 80 and you're collecting $1,500 a month plus COLA increases, it's going to be very hard to survive, especially if you save nothing. And again, Sarasota Tim doesn't understand. He's not going to be doing these little side gigs, when he's 74 or 78, if he lives that long. But his idea is, hey, we're going to die young. Don't leave money on the table. That's the government what the government wants. Government doesn't care. It's going to be all the same over the population of people. They don't care when anybody starts it. They don't get to keep the money. It stays in Social Security. So be realistic. Check out Sarasota Tim. Give him a few views. See what I'm talking about. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Please subscribe to me so I can catch up to Sarasota Tim. Like my videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye.